Hello Steve. Hello Jill. It's time to game classy.
The Decipher RPG.
I was really I was actually at I was at some used bookstore. It wasn't Half Price Books. It was a different one. But they had the Next Generation role-playing game. I don't think it was Decipher.
It would have been, I know, Last Unicorn, I believe.
No, it looked a little more mainstream.
Yeah, the company that Decipher bought.
Oh, okay.
Was the one that they did they did Star Trek, the role-playing game, Star Trek: The Next Generation, the role-playing game, and then they were right before they did Voyager. Decipher bought them and made that. And I believe that the company they bought is the one who invented the Coda system, which is the system that game uses.
Say it like Picard.
Coda.
The Coda system.
The Coda system.
We have to go to the Coda system.
Stardate 633-741. We have to approach the Coda system. Find out the newest. What is it? Number 1? RPG.
I suggest we put shields up. Phasers at ready. No, Wolf.
Captain, we need to replicate some dice.
Oh, Star Trek
Star Trek the RPG generation.
I would love to do like some long form improv of like but like you know how people record their RPGs. I would love to do a long form one of Star Trek, of the people in Star Trek playing an RPG. You know, I don't.
We discussed that before.
I know we have, but it's just like I like the idea. I've always wanted to do a long form improv podcast, but it's just I don't know. I don't think people really dig that sort of thing.
Maybe like as a one-off.
Yeah, I mean, or like a small like 5-episode.
But we
thing.
need a group of people.
You need many. You can't just have me and you.
Yeah, it wouldn't work if it was just us doing voices.
Yeah, it would be it would not work so well. We'd be like 15 minutes in and we'd be tired of it. Yeah,
but yeah, I like it. It's a good system. I actually began collecting the Decipher Lord of the Rings RPG as well. Which also uses the Coda system.
But they don't go to the Coda system.
They don't.
No, that's too bad. No, but I was just like, I don't know, like the Star Trek: The Next Generation RPG. It seems like it'd be a cool idea, but I don't know, like everyone would want to play like Picard or Riker or Worf or something like that.
Well, they actually go over that pretty. I don't know if I haven't seen the Star Trek Next Generation one, but they go over all the stuff you can do in that Star Trek RPG.
Yeah,
and they specifically mention like don't have a player be a captain.
Yeah,
like they're like if you want to do enlisted officers in Starfleet, like they're like you have to be basically a bridge crew. Like that's the only way to really do it, because if you're below a commanding officer, like if you're below like a certain rank, like if you're not the bridge crew, you're like fucking O'Brien.
Yeah, like you just stand in a transporter the entire time,
and your role playing is like the captain goes beam us in, and you roll dice and you see if you do it correctly, and then you're done. Like that's your session.
I think what would be better is if you were like a team, like an engineering team.
Yeah,
like just like a bunch of potato peelers down over in engineering, and the Geordie comes in and he's just like, guys, we need to get more power out of the dilithium crystals so that way we can make it out of this, trap put out by the Zerosians. And everyone's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, well, what do you got to do?
I was about to go to the mess hall and get something out of the replicator.
My shift ended 15 minutes ago. I have an appointment at the holodeck in literally 20 minutes, so if this is not taken care of in 20 minutes, I'm leaving. I'm done with this.
Yeah, I just got my Latinum so I could buy into the holosuite.
Well, not on a ship, but on Deep Space Nine, of course, you need your gold press Latinum,
or any area that is not completely Federation controlled.
I found a flaw in the gold pressed Latinum thing, though.
They suck the Latinum out, because that definitely happens. That was hilarious.
But I mean, like the concept of it's like, okay, so you have to press the Latinum because Latinum is liquid and it's at room temperature. Mm-hmm. So you have to press it into gold so that way you can use it as trading, because you can't replicate Latinum. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of why.
Right, that's why, because for currency to work, there needs to be scarcity.
Yeah,
some sort of scarcity.
And
whether or not you make the scarcity artificial or not, you have...
Yeah, you're in a post-scarcity economy, so you have to have something like that. So why can't you just create the gold-pressed plating for it, like something that looks like Latinum with the same weight And so that way you could just use that because I mean it's really
there is that.
Yeah.
There's definitely people
I
who
know
try and make they make a phony gold press Latinum. That's actually a thing. I think it's a plot point in one of the episodes.
Well, I know there's the one where Morn like inhales all the Latinum into his body.
He sucks it up.
Yeah, he sucks it up.
So his wife can't get it or something.
Yeah. So he pretends to die when he gets his thing.
That's right.
Oh, I love Morn. One of the greatest characters of all time.
He talks so much.
He talks so much.
Yeah, and then there's the one where there's the heist, and like they steal they think they steal all the gold press Latinum, and it was just gold.
Yeah.
And there's no Latinum. They're like, it's worthless.
It's worthless gold.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's awesome.
I just think that's weird though. Like in a post-scarcity economy, like in well, the whole thing is you just normally see Starfleet. You never really see like
the rest of the galaxy.
The rest of the galaxy. I mean, you do it a couple things,
which is why I love Deep Space Nine, and like I think that like that peek at other cultures is cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's other cultures. I'm talking Earth culture as a whole. Because I mean, like even on Earth, you know, they pretty much do whatever they.
Man, I think Deep Space Nine is the only one of the contemporary series that does anything on Earth.
Yeah, well,
because there's the whole thing where
with the Cisco's dad.
Yeah, and there's the hostile military coup or the attempted military coup on Earth.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean,
stuff.
But the fact that I don't know. It's too weird for me to like wrap my head around. I never think the writers on Star Trek ever got it on their heads. Because, like, we know that Starfleet is definitely post-scarcity. If you're in Starfleet, you get whatever you want.
Right.
But on Earth, we don't necessarily know if it's post-scarcity or, like, if people still have to, like regulate the usage. I think, like, the power usage is kind of, like, what they're paying for. Because
I don't know.
They don't have, like, unlimited power, but I know that they're close to it.
Yeah, you never see any currency exchange hands in Benjamin Sisko's dad's restaurant.
No.
Like, ever.
Well, the whole thing with Sisko's dad is that he has a restaurant because he wants to have a restaurant, and he's good at it. But, I mean, like, what would stop, like, an average schmo like me from being like, you know what, I want to open up a game store, you know, in the post-scarcity economy of
Well,
Earth.
presumably a standard retail location like that, like that style of retail wouldn't work because you can replicate. So like I can be like replicator, make me a D&D book, and it just goes like and I have a D&D book. So I don't think a standard idea of like you walk into a place to acquire goods and services works.
But I think
you could do. I think a game store would still possibly exist, but it would be an area to play games.
Well, I also think that there would be some, like, you'd have to have unique things. So, like, if you designed a specific type of mini, like Games Workshop in a post-scarcity economy would hold all of the replicator, patents for their specific figures, and only their replicators could make those figures.
Right.
So you had to go to a Games Workshop store in order to get those figures to replicate. You know, and of course, there's probably bootleggers who are like.
But I mean, it would be. That's the thing. There's no economy, so it would be free.
Yeah,
like it would just be people doing things because they want to. So like the guys who worked for Games Workshop would be guys who just want to sculpt.
Yeah,
and like I think that's how businesses would have to change. Like there'd be no actual business, but it'd be like, hey, the 10 of us really like sculpting, so let's do it.
Well, I mean, like you could think of like
the question is like the deeper economic questions, and I wonder if there's anyone who does like economy theory on Star Trek, but like the deeper economic questions are things like, let's say everything's free because there's no money in the Federation. Like that's it in Starfleet. But what does that mean for like people who want to do a certain job? Like example, let's say miniature sculpting. Like you want to do miniature sculpting. Who do you approach to get the land allocated to you?
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
is, like,
how does
the
allocation
space,
work?
Because you know that you got to figure there's got to be billions of humans at this point. Let's say there's somewhere close to I don't know. There's 7 billion humans on Earth right now. Let's say that there's close to 100 billion humans, at least in the Earth system. So like Earth, Moon, Mars. You know, like the inhabited planets of the solar system.
Yeah, and then the various space stations.
Yeah,
I think that might really be it. I think so
Lex Luthor is right in that land. It's the only thing they're not making more of.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think the natural progression of that would be like if you want to do something and like it's already like done where you are, like say Earth, you're like Earth has the maximum capacity of like clothing stores. Like there's just no one out there who needs another clothing store. You would leave Earth. Like, wouldn't that be the natural progression? You'd be like, I'm going to Mars.
And the entrepreneurship of it. But I think with clothing, it's a little different because clothing, it's like, you could replicate something, but you still need people to design it. You still need people
and hand tailoring is still a thing.
Yeah, hand tailoring has got to be a thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the thing. They always talk about, like, cooks still exist, even though you can replicate a sandwich because, like, the artistry is still there. And, like, it's not like while the sandwich you get from the replicator tastes good, and it's tasty, it's not the same as someone handcrafting.
Yeah, and plus, like a
meal.
replicated sandwich is not necessarily like if you want yourself a nice, let's say chicken, bacon, and like arugula sandwich. Like you get it, and it's not necessarily chicken, arugula, and bacon because it's like tailored to have the proper amount of vitamins and minerals. It's like the perfectly
nutritionally
balanced. Yeah. But you want, like, sometimes you want that one that's
they talk about that when they make the candies and the sweeties on the ship. It's like it's ice cream, but it's not ice cream.
Yeah. So like, sometimes you want like that shitty food that's gonna like wreck your body for a day, but you're like, it's so worth it. Like Taco Bell has to exist in the 24th century, because every once in a while people are like, you know what, I want some really shitty food that's gonna give me diarrhea. Like, let's go get some Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of pessimism in the world, and I think a lot of people think that like people wouldn't be like that if they didn't have to work, and I kind of disagree with that. I think people would want to find something that they want to do.
Yeah, see, I would be more like Rene, like Jean-Luc's brother,
just out in the vineyard.
Yeah, I would be like that guy who's just like making like hand growing my food, but not like on a massive scale like a farmer, but just enough for self-sustenance. And
didn't you sell his wine?
Yeah, but something like that where I would want to
move his wine.
Yeah, I would do something like that where I'd be like, you know what I really want to do? I really want to make cheese. I want to be a cheese maker.
I wonder if because there's a shit ton of Star Trek books. I wonder if there's any like technical manuals that get deep into the like
economy,
like the moving wheels of how like the Federation works. Because I know they specifically mentioned credits are a thing in the Federation. Like that's a thing that exists because. It's like the post scarcity isn't everywhere and it's not universal because like if you're in like the far area of the Alpha Quadrant, you're like really far away from Earth and far from Starfleet. Like there's still probably Starfleet ships around, but like you need to there needs to be commerce there because like the resources aren't infinite. That's the whole thing. Like Earth has infinite resources at this point, quote unquote, because they've figured out how to use everything the Earth has that like keep it spinning.
Well, there would be like certain things like you could replicate let's say you're out in the far reaches of the Alpha Quadrant. There are certain things that you can get. Like you could get a replicator. A replicator can make you food. It can make you water. Let's just say you already have air. Like it's a natural like habitat that you could live in. You need something like you would need like massive replicators in order to make certain things like let's say a spaceship. Like a spaceship, you can't just replicate a spaceship. You have to replicate the parts of the spaceship.
Right. And you have to put it together.
So like there are people who have to do that.
It's true. Yeah, there's engineers and stuff that still exist.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that like more it's definitely post like that Marxist sort of like,
it's not a capitalist society.
No, but what I'm saying is like there's no like the workers are the blood of the blood of the workers lubricate the system of the economy. No, it's not like that because you don't have to build spaceships. Like, you don't have to be that guy. But you know what? You might like building spaceships.
Yeah, you might think that's fucking badass.
Yeah. And you could do that for, like, 4 or 5 years. You get really good at it. And you're like, you know what? I'm kind of done building spaceships. I'd like to build something else, or I'd like to do this.
Yeah,
and
and so much of it, like, so much of what you do see is, like, it's like their positions are clearly based on aptitude and, like, how they did it at school. Because, like, school into Starfleet Academy is, like, there's, like, that one path, but there's all, like, it seems very much almost a meritocracy, but not 100% that way.
Yeah. No, I think meritocracy is a pretty good term for it because there are certain people who are, like they think that they're way better at their job and they get frustrated because they're not. Like you could well, Barkley is a good example because he's really good at his job, but he's like really shitty at everything else.
Right, and he's socially terrible.
So he does achieve to the level at which his skills will allow him to go.
And he does get better.
Yeah,
with counseling.
I hate Barkley though. Barkley's one of the worst characters ever.
I love Broccoli.
mainly because I like.
You're just a hater, man.
I do. I like people are just. I don't know. It's like just fucking.
I love that like the goofy like that the nutty professor style guy. Like that's what he is to me. He's like a nutty professor dude who's like just like socially shit, but like pretty good at his like hologram technology and stuff.
Well, what I don't like about it is like how all the story attempts are at him to improve socially. It's just like if he doesn't want to improve socially, why let him? Who cares?
Well, he does want to improve socially. That's the whole thing. Like that's what it's not it's not an outside influence forcing him to get better socially. It's that like he's the whole in his entire purpose for doing, like when he was first introduced with the whole holodeck where he's like making up the people. Yeah. The entire reasoning his character did that is because he wanted to build his confidence and get better socially, and he fucked it up and like got lost in his own little world.
Yeah,
but that's the whole thing. He's trying to strive for self improvement. That's not a I don't think I took it as the opposite. I don't think it's an outside force.
I could see that. I will cede that point. There are people like that at my work, and I just fucking can't stand them.
I mean, because if people want to be shitters in Star Trek, they're totally allowed.
Yeah, they're called admirals. No, they're called the admirals, and they're called commodores. Those are the shitheads in the Star Trek universe. I mean, seriously, I'm surprised we talked 15 minutes now on Star Trek because I just rewatched the original motion picture. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
And I was even amazed to the point where it's like, man, even when Kirk becomes an admiral, he's just a shitty person. Like, just becoming an admiral makes you shitty.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They also talk about the differences between the series, and like they give you plot ideas, and they go over like the overarching themes of like what each series is like, and like why each series is the way it is, and like how you can use the themes of each series to your thing. And they're like, the original series is about the cowboy captains. Like the whole thing is like the reason Kirk is like that, and like the reason all the situations are so like chopsocky is because like every captain in that era of Starfleet was a complete like autonomous unit.
Yeah.
The nearest ship is months away. You don't have constant contact with Starfleet, so like you can try and go by Starfleet regulations, but in most cases the captain just is like, fuck it, shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, like Kirk himself was the one who wrote the fucking Prime Directive, so. Yeah,
and that's a cool thing, and I like that they go over the big events in each series, and like how you can like there's like the Dominion War. They're like you could play as like a group of smugglers like trying to go through the wormhole to like make business deals,
make some bank in the Gamma Quadrant.
Yep, yeah, it's really cool. I like it, and I think that would be the most fun way to do that would be a group of non-Starfleet characters or an elite. Like a specialist away team, like they had like the Starfleet like Black Ops guys who like they very rarely talk about, but like they're
what are they called, like the Division 9 or something,
Division
like that.
6 I think,
something like that.
Yeah, like Division something, but yeah, it would be cool to be like the Starfleet Black Ops guys where you're just
and like when you go on the boards, everyone explains everything through that Black Ops team. Like, the reason why that happened was because Division 6 came in and like,
I don't like people's I don't like hearing anybody explaining anything. I want to see it. Like either it's in an episode, it's in a movie, or it's in a book. If it's not in one of those things, I don't want people's reasonings.
I get deep into like the technical boards when people are talking about like Starship and Starship designs. Like, why was the Miranda class used so much more than the Galaxy class? And like the people get into the details of it and like why it's numbered a certain way. Like I get into that. I'm like, oh yeah, this makes total sense.
That's super cool. I like that.
Oh yeah, you know, Miranda class.
I really like that. That kind of detail is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy the. I love the Star Trek ships. They're so sweet looking.
I want to write a Star Trek. I want to write Star Trek. I want to like a TV show Star Trek. I want to write it.
You should.
I would love to, but the problem is they don't want to write the era that I want to write.
Just write it. Just write it and submit it to Paramount.
Like I really want to write that in between.
I mean, as far as I know, they're still open. They still take fan submissions.
Yeah. I like the in between. The original series and Next Gen. I want to write about
100 years.
Yeah, that 100 years. I think that's the most fascinating one because it's about like the collapse of the Klingon Federation, of the Klingon Empire. You know, you have the
Kronos' moon getting destroyed.
Praxis.
Mm-hmm.
You see that whole collapse of the Klingon Empire, the opening up of the Klingon Empire. The Romulans are coming into power again. The Federation is strong, but it's not like what it becomes in Next Generation. So it's like you still got a lot of those issues. It's more fun. Like Next Generation's great, but it's like they're too
established.
Yeah, they're too established, too all powerful. So it's mainly about like, oh, we found an energy being. Oh, how are we going to deal with this energy being?
It's focusing on the new life and new civilizations.
Yeah, which is great.
Star Trek, the original series, is focusing on the boldly go.
Yes, that's what I like. The more boldly go, but like kind of boldly going with purpose. Like that's what I think is kind of cool about that.
I mean, you should just fucking write it.
I should.
I mean, if you really want to, just write it and send it off to Paramount because they, as far as I know, they still are perfectly willing to take fan submissions.
I will have the galley, the cook of the galley named Steve just after you. It's like, what do you want?
You want a burger?
I got some burgers.
He keeps trying to feed me burgers.
As long as it's not Neelix, because fuck Neelix.
I love Neelix.
I hate Neelix. I hate Voyager so much.
I love Phlox. I love Neelix.
Phlox is okay.
Dude, Phlox is fucking awesome. Phlox is quickly becoming my favorite character in Star Trek.
He's interesting. He's an interesting character, but what I like about him is that he's interesting because he's just like a side thing. Like, he always throws some weird thing out there, and he's never like a main character. He's like in 1 or 2 episodes he's considered a main character.
I really like the there's the one episode where he has the ethical dilemma of the 2 species, and like one of them is dying from that like weird disease that the other one is immune to. So he figures out how to cure the disease, but if he cures the disease, he's gonna fundamentally change because like in like 50 or 100 years, like the dominant species on the planet is going to be dead, and they're both humanoids.
Yeah.
And the non-dominant species will be the only one left on the planet.
Yeah.
So it's like that is some pretty heavy ethics. Like, if I save these people, I will completely change the fate of both.
Yeah, and he's like, but he's also like established Starfleet. Like, he's there for a very specific reason. Unlike
the cross-species exchange.
Yeah. Unlike fucking Neelix, who just happened to be like, he's like, hey guys, where you going? Let me go with you.
He was with the Ocampa.
Yeah, and I hate the Ocampa as well because they're stupid. It's a stupid concept to have continually running throughout the show.
I'm
for the
surprised
first
you
few
don't like
reasons.
Voyager, because it's so about the Boldly Go. Like, Voyager was trying to recapture the weirdness of the original series.
I understand that, but they did it like completely in a very annoying fashion. Where it's just like, oh, we only have 15 photon torpedoes left. Season 7. How many photon torpedoes do we have left? 13. But we fired off like 80 photon torpedoes throughout the show.
They hand wave their restocking a lot, which I would have liked to have seen. Like, there is a couple episodes where they go over like trying to fix their ship and like getting resources,
and that's cool.
I like that.
Yeah, but they too much.
I still stand. I think it's cool that they did a lot of like the weird stuff and like exploring the new areas. Yes,
like when they find Amelia Earhart.
There's more dud episodes in Voyager than there are in any other series, for sure. Not going to argue that. But I think that like the Vidians are weird and cool. The like gross ass fucking alien dudes who have the phage.
I don't like those guys.
And I like that I like their organ stealing.
I do like that, but I thought their design was terrible.
Well, they were. It's like they look gross. Like, it's like that's really it.
They didn't look gross enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You wanted more slime.
I wanted more like zombie-ish.
And then like the weirdest thing I thought about the Vidians was fucking like George Costanza like just like hand waving that he cured the phage.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, that should be much bigger of a plot point.
What about that episode where
I really liked that George Costanza episode.
What about that episode where 7 of 9 fights The Rock?
That was awesome. I love that episode too.
He's the most electrifying
President The Rock.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's going to run for president. See, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens.
President The Rock.
Yeah. Anyway. Welcome to Game Classy. We're 22 minutes in. I'm your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is the George Costanza to my Jerry Seinfeld, Steve.
Be bopping and scatting all over me, Jerry. It's Gore-Tex.
The Van Buren boys. You're a little bit more like the Kramer to my Jerry.
Probably.
A little bit. No, you're a Costanza.
Maybe both. I'm a Costanza-er.
Yeah, I would say that Pat B is more of our Kramer. He just randomly comes in.
No, Pepe's more like who's a good. I would say Banya, but Jerry and Banya don't like each other. Pepe's putty.
He's the putty.
He's totally putty. He's the guy who's just like,
yeah.
And,
I don't really know.
And then you totally rely on him to do something awesome because he's a sweet, honest mechanic.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's Pepe's putty.
Did you change my presets on my radio?
I don't want to go to hell.
I was speaking of Pepe. I hung out with him last week, and we were talking. Like, he's one of those. He's a cord cutter just like you. You know, it's like every time I still have cable and everything. I love my cable. I don't give a shit. I would like to cut the cord, but I'm just like, I love cable so much. I love just watching random things, and like we talk about that, and then we're talking about the radio, and we're talking about. And
I'm on a Mexican radio.
I haven't listened to anything on the radio, like a legit radio broadcast, in years. Like, I'm always on either a podcast or an audiobook or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's talking about like, well, on on the Drive, it's which is a local radio station, by the way. He's on the Drive.
It's like classic rock, right?
Yeah, they only play Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And I'm like, wait, you sit there and talk about how you hate commercials and that's why you cut the cord,
and you listen to the radio.
terrestrial radio. What the hell's going on?
That's pretty weird.
I know. I cut the cord on terrestrial radio far before everyone else. I was like, I'm done with this. Ever since Man Cow in the Morning stopped in Chicago.
Fucking Man Cow.
Oh, it was so bad. I'm so glad I stopped doing that. Listen to the Stern. Gotta listen to my Stern. Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Howard Stern's also. All those radio personalities suck.
Except Rush Limbaugh. He tells the truth.
That's right. Well, if humans came from apes, welcome Harambe was still a gorilla. I could not believe that was actually a thing. And the worst part is, the actual worst part of hearing that as a statement is, I know for a fact there are thousands of Americans who heard that and they're like, yeah, that's right. And just like, oh my fucking God.
Well, what bothers me more than that is I know Rush Limbaugh doesn't actually believe that, but he's only saying that to the couple thousand Americans who believe that, so that way he could get more ratings. And that's annoying to me. See, we're on this podcast, we say what we believe. Like, if I literally say, like, I hate Barkley, I'm not just saying that to get a reaction out of people. I hate Barkley as
I don't
a
think there's
character.
enough, like, Super Barkley fans to get a reaction. You have to say, like, you have to be way more abrasive to get, like, the people raging.
Like, you know what? I think Overwatch is a great game. Steve just flips the table.
Fuck you.
It actually, I've been watching.
Everyone's into Overwatch.
Yeah, I was watching some videos. It looks fun, I guess.
The problem I have, there's a
I don't understand it.
very quick and easy thing to explain. It's a team game. It's 5v5. I don't want to sit there and play with 4 random people and try to beat fucking people online. That's the worst. If I knew 4 other people who all wanted to play at the same time as me, I might play it.
Well, and that's what a lot of people do with that Overwatch, is there's groups of people who definitely play together.
Right.
Guilds, if you will.
Yeah, if you got 4 people to play with you and you're playing as a group, great. But like solo queuing, I did solo queuing when I was playing Smite, and it is awful.
Yeah, it's garbage.
So fucking terrible, because it's a team game that actually requires you to work as a team. So getting 5 random people who, no, fuck that. I'm out. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I got Shadow of Mordor, baby.
Shadow Mordor.
Yeah, I'm going through the DLC. Did you play the DLC?
I played all the DLC.
Okay.
I don't know which one you're...
I just finished the... So I 100%ed the base game.
Yeah.
I got every trophy. Mm-hmm. And then I'm 2 trophies away from 100%ing the hunt.
Yeah.
And then I'm going into the Bright Lord.
Yeah, I beat all those. I don't think I 100% of them with all the trophies. Well,
that was my whole thing. Is like, I've never actually tried to go for a game and do all of the achievements. That's never been a thing that I've tried to do before. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for it with Shadow of Mordor. It is fucking hard to get all the achievements. I was like, damn, like I can't, like I see people who have like a shit ton of them. I'm just like, what do you do? Like, do you work?
Probably not.
Yeah, they can't.
No.
It's taken me years to get the ones in Shadow of Mordor. I mean, obviously I haven't been playing it for actual years, but like, you know,
it's a fun game to go back and play every once in a while. It's a great,
the Nemesis system works out.
Yeah, the Nemesis system is great. My goal sometimes when I play is to 100% all the Nemesis. Like,
get everyone branded?
Yeah, get either everyone branded or kill all of the orcs before they can respawn.
Nice.
And it's only happened 1 or 2 times that I've actually done that, and it's very fitting. But then at the same time, you're like, you do that, and then maybe like a little something pops up in the corner and says like achievement unlocked, and you're like, that's all I got. That's all that it gives me. But anyway, so let's talk about some gaming stuff in the news. I know you wanted to talk about
Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
The big announcement.
The General's Compendium.
Of the points. They're allowing points now.
Yeah, that's going to be in the General's Compendium. They're doing a points-based system. So
wait, hold on a second. I'm receiving a psychic message up from Future Joe. Oh yeah, apparently none of the points are balanced, and they kind of just slapdashed it all together so to please people. That's right. They didn't pre-work it out. They didn't test it. They just basically came up with a kind of system for it and assigned random points. And oh hey, look, the game is terrible to play still.
Well, that's possible.
It's not possible. It is absolutely 100%. I guarantee there's no play testing on any of these point systems.
Yeah, I mean, who fucking knows? There's so many people who like they're. This is the thing there's a few weird things about the point system that is different than previous GW that I've heard. All right, so like I said, I've been following this because as anyone may recall, I was tentatively or even possibly say actually excited about Age of Sigmar.
I was too
when it was first being talked about. I liked the idea of going to the round bases. I didn't have a problem with not being a block game. I was more excited when I thought it was going to be War of the Ring style, where you can play the round bases and then they go into the movement trays.
That's what I thought too.
So that was that. My brain made me more excited about it. And then of course the actual rules came out and it was a disaster, and like the fucking mustache rules and stuff. So like terrible, like that's awful, obviously. And then I shit all over it, as I still stand by my statements. However, the fact that the game is now actually playable with some form of balancing, like at least a little bit, it makes me, because I like the game because the game is fucking simple, and I'm super into simple minis games.
From what I've heard from people who've actually played the game is that the mechanics are pretty fun. Right.
So, and that's what I want. That's what you want. You want mechanics that are simple and easy, and I want a game that I don't like. So right now for me, the battle is between Age of Sigmar with points and War Machine Hordes Mark III.
Ooh.
So that's where I'm putting. That's what I'm putting to task.
Okay.
I want to see how big the games are supposed to be for Age of Sigmar. So I want to see about how many models that you're supposed to have. So I want to wait and see what the points are and see what the...
I would say that there's probably going to be between 30 and 40 models.
We'll see.
That's what I would say.
I'm always hesitant because workshop players are very, very and even War Machine players at this point, they're very want to like bloat their game to like an unplayably fun size.
Well, and also Age of Sigmar it's all about like the giant model, like that Archaeon dragon with the 3 heads.
Yeah.
That costs 800 points probably, or whatever ridiculousness they're putting in the point system. It's going to soak up a giant amount of points.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to have, is like big shit that soaks up all the points.
Right. So we will see. Like I said, I want to see how big the game is, because I think it's going to be like a more, it's a workshop game, so it'll be less. And this is an undeniable fact. I don't care if you're a diehard War Machine fan and you think workshop games are the worst thing ever. It's an undeniable fact that there is less maintenance required of your army in a workshop game than any other minis game.
Yeah.
Because in War Machine Hordes, like the game shifts like
every 3 or 4 months.
Right. And there can be very significant shifts. So you need to go back, buy new units, reevaluate your list, learn the tactics, adapt to the new metagame. Like there's a lot you need to do. So, like when for example, I didn't play War Machine for like maybe like a little over half a year, and I went to a tournament with my list that I had won a couple small tournaments with, and I got fucking annihilated because the lists that I had built were good against armies that didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, people don't take infantry anymore. People are just taking these colossals. Fuck, they're actually really powerful, and I don't have anything to answer colossals, so I guess I just lose.
Yeah, the War Machine is probably the mini game's equivalent of Magic. It's pretty close to that.
Like you need to be on top of the game, and you need to have kind of everything. Yeah. So I don't think I want to do that. Like that seems like a lot of commitment. And like I talk about it before with card games. Like I play Pokemon and Card Fight, and they have the same. I've coined it. They're passive card games, because if you build your deck in Pokemon and you're like, I'm going to play with this Pokemon, and if you build your deck in Vanguard and you say I'm going to use this clan, you're done. You just like you need to buy cards every time new cards come out for that clan. So like the 2 I'm playing, they had releases like.
Are you doing a Squirtle deck?
No, I'm not doing a Squirtle deck. I'm doing Alakazam. That's for Pokemon. But like once you have the deck built, the amount of times you need to go back and buy more cards is small. It's not like Magic where like you need every set. Period.
Yeah.
Like end of line. Like you have to get every set in Magic. And with Vanguard, it's like
every 4 months you have to drop about $200 on a box of cards.
Right. With Vanguard, like thus far, the clans I'm playing, it's like they've gotten releases like once a year, give or take, with like some small supplemental stuff. So it's very easy to keep up with. It's like it's almost nothing. And like because I don't really care about being like playing like the best deck, You're the best. I don't worry about keeping up with the expensive stuff.
Take you down, you're the best.
And I think Age of Sigmar is going to be like that too. I think if I put together a Nurgle list at 1,000 points or whatever, like I can be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think GW has already blew their wad. Like it was a grand experiment that failed, just because people don't want that. I think if they had started with points, it'd be a completely different story right now.
Interesting note, I asked the same question on Twitter of how many people were interested in Age of Sigmar now that it has points, rather than on Facebook. Everyone was like no. Everyone was like emphatically no, except for the one guy who was already playing.
Yeah,
which I mean, great, more power to you. I don't really care if people are playing and enjoying it. That's fine. I would be interested to know what random system you're using, because I looked, there's like 10 different fan systems to do points for Sigmar. I rambled off past my point. Workshop's working with TOs to determine points values. Like they're actually talking to the community to like.
But what community is left?
I don't fucking know. Apparently, there's some. There were Age of Sigmar tournaments at Adepticon. So
Yeah, there was like 6 people.
I wasn't there. I didn't look.
Yeah.
But still, long and short, we'll see what laziness the game affords me.
I mean, there's a couple things. It's like one, like the whole appeal of Age of Sigmar was initially like all of your armies are still good. Like you could just take your figures. You don't even have to rebase them. There's no real point to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it comes out. It's like, well, all of these armies are being discontinued. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, you can still play with them. There's rules for them, but they're being discontinued. We're not going to support these guys any further. Like, all right, well, I like my Bretonians. I'm kind of upset that I'm never going to get any more models for them. That's kind of shitty. But then they're like, well, there's no point. You can play with whatever you want. And for me, it's like, oh, that's great if I have like 4 or 5 people that I play with regularly.
Right.
But those people don't really exist, so I can't really play a pickup game because I don't know how many points, and I don't really feel like let's start an Age of Sigmar club, and everyone just no, I don't. I'm not like that. I don't like that too much.
Right.
And then there's the whole thing that it's okay. So now it's essentially a brand new game. Like it's nothing like anything that you've had.
It totally new. And one of the things it did do that I think points are going to help alleviate is there's nothing differentiating because you can take whatever. There's like the horde troops have all become completely worthless.
Yeah.
Like why would you ever take a goblin when like in a non-point system a goblin is the same as a black orc?
Yeah. Well, and then on top of that, it's like there's other games that are fantasy based that are probably the same size that you could play that are more and that are well thought out.
Wrath of Kings.
Balanced. I'm talking like the skirmish style.
Wrath of Kings.
Well, Wrath of Kings isn't skirmish.
Not Kings of War, Wrath of Kings.
Oh, Wrath of Kings. Yeah, like Wrath of Kings. Yeah, Wrath of Kings is a great example of that. That are fantasy based, that are on circle bases, that are smaller unit sizes, that are completely more well thought out, that you could play with instead. Why not do that? And these games are like all the armies in these games are going to be supported at least for a while on that one. Who knows what's going on in the heads of GW? The fact of that, and plus Games Workshop created the Sigmarines, which are the worst fucking atrocity known to mankind. Those things are ugly on every level of the word ugly.
I actually like the Sigmarines.
I don't know how you do that. Those things are so blah.
I mean, they look like Space Marines, and I think Space Marines are cool.
I would like it more if they were.
I don't like the fact that they went with the fucking Golden Boys look because like I've seen a lot of alternate.
Talking about the Golden Boys, Jerry.
I've seen a lot of alternate paint schemes on them, and they look very cool if they're not just like dipped in gold.
I would have liked it if they were like more like medieval style. I mean, not medieval style, but like more fashion to look like real like stylized big ass knights, like in real like armor with. The helmets that flip up, and like swords and big crests on their helmets. Like, I'd like that a lot more. Like, if they took, like, white wolves and made them, like, that size. Like, that would be way cooler to me,
Sure.
at least.
I mean, I'm not about to jump off and buy a Sigmarine army, but, like...
No. Well, I mean, it's cheap, but...
I don't, like, hate them.
Well, I mean, the base core is cheap, but all of, like, the specialized units are ass expensive.
Right. But yeah, I mean...
Unless you know somebody who knows how to cast figures.
Like I said, I'm not going into it... I'm not going into it blind.
No.
I'm not going into War Machine Mark III blind.
No.
I've got plenty of stuff to work on now.
Yep.
I've got plenty of stuff to paint. I'm just going to be working on that. And the other advantage, of course, is people actually play at Games Workshop stores, and I'm close to one. So I can...
What GW? What store?
Acadia on the Green, where the bunker was.
Oh, wait.
Well, it's not exactly where the bunker was, but it's
yeah.
It's in Downers Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's relatively close.
How are you going to fit in that store?
I'll just break the doors.
That place is tiny.
Is it? I've never been.
It's tiny and there's no parking, but
Sweet.
because it's right by the train station, so all the commuters park right there. So
Sweet.
there's never any parking.
Well, I mean, I'll have to try and figure it out. But that's the thing too. Like,
Sorry, Adam.
I'm super excited about Wrath of Kings, but where the fuck am I going to play it? Like, I mean, I know some people personally who have some Wrath of Kings stuff, and maybe I can play with them. But like, where are we going to meet up and play? And like. There's not, and this is the weird thing about Wrath of Kings. I'll say this, and I think a lot of people are starting to experience this with a decent chunk of Kickstarters. These Kickstarters are like out there, and they make a shit ton of money. Like a ton of people bought into Wrath of Kings. A ton. Where are they? Like where the fuck are they? Where are the people? Where are all of these people who put money? Like it was multiple millions of dollars.
Yeah, that was a big Kickstarter.
It was a huge Kickstarter.
It was one of the last like mega mini Kickstarters.
Yeah, like where the fuck are all the players?
I have no idea.
Where are they? I looked. There is no local scene, but in addition to that, I can't find a scene. Like I cannot find a group of people playing Wrath of Kings. Like the Wrath of Kings Facebook group is like the most random assortment of like. I'm from Wales and I've got this one thing and I'm looking through. It's a bunch of people who are like miles and miles away, like hundreds of miles away from each other, all looking for other people who play this game.
Yeah. Actually, there's I'm gonna see if I can try and find it. I was just looking at it the other day. There was a Barbarian Kickstarter that was just done up.
Barbarians.
I can't find it right now, but it was all classic like D&D style barbarians, with like the winged helmets. Kind of like Brahm artwork, not like dark, like grimdark, but like actual early first edition D&D barbarians. And it was really cool looking, and I was thinking about buying into it. The figures were really expensive, though. I'm talking like probably close to $7 a figure, which is it's not my thing.
Yeah, that's crazy expensive.
Yeah, I mean, there's another Kickstarter going on there. I'm just going to bitch about it right now because why not? Brigade Games, they do a lot of historical stuff. They're doing a Kickstarter right now for World War II Soviet Army, right?
The Soviets.
Everyone is shitting on it because it's like, the sculpts are not great and they're not cheap. Like, there's already cheap Soviet figures that are available that people have already bought into. It's like, why are you designing this Kickstarter for figures that people already have? Like, what is the point of that?
Yeah, you got to have a.
There's no hook.
Yeah.
I don't know on that one. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you make a great point with the Kickstarters that they are providing something that people want, but you have to get people together to, like I think that's the biggest problem with Kickstarter. I mean, I kind of just put two and two together in my head. I'm sure a lot of other people have thought of this. Is that the whole point of the local game store? Is the local game store creates the community. Like, this is what the community is going to be playing. Mm-hmm. It's either decided by the store owners or the people who go into the store saying, like, no, we're going to be playing this.
Right.
And they get together and they play it. Kickstarter basically eliminates the game store and saying, like, hey, everyone, we have this. But the problem is there's no localized central community that's building up the want to play that game. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of people who buy into it, lots of smaller gaming groups who buy into it, who play in a dude's basement, which is fine. But like someone like you who does not have a local gaming store that you go to play,
and all of the local gaming stores are roughly the same distance from my house. Like all of them are.
You're kind of in
I'm in a gaming dead zone.
Yeah, you're in a game. You are pretty much in a gaming dead zone. There's not a lot around you,
and every place is like a half hour away. It's like where can you go? If every store is equidistant. It's like, okay, cool.
I'm lucky because I have a game store that's literally 10 minutes from my house, so I could just go there and play on Thursdays, which is what I do when I play with my gaming group. It's great. But it would be tough for you because you're a little bit further out. It'd be like a half hour to get there. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So other news, I can't believe we talked like for a half hour on Star Trek.
Oh, it's fun to talk about.
Wizards released a bunch of new previews for the D&D stuff that they're doing. So they're doing Volo's Guides to Monsters. That's just a new monster manual. I'm assuming just an update.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah. And they're doing the Storm King's Thunder, which is their new kind of campaign thing. They're doing 2 books on that one.
Not gonna lie, I'm super disappointed that they're already back to the fucking Forgotten Realms. And on top of that, I'm super disappointed that they're yet again not making another fucking player supplement.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah.
Those things like the player supplements outsell the other books like 5-1.
You are true. I mean, I don't mind them going back to Forgotten Realms.
All they do is Forgotten Realms, for fuck's sake.
But I mean, if you have an established group and you're going through these books, it's kind of nice to do that. Like you have, like, oh, your party could go do this campaign now.
But all of the campaigns they've released, except for Strahd, have been full fucking campaigns in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah,
like they're like, give us a break. Like do fucking Al-Qadim. Fuck.
Yeah, and they could do Al-Qadim, but if they did Al-Qadim would be in Forgotten Realms. It would be a part of the realms.
But still, like, do Al-Qadim, damn it.
We get it. You like Al-Qadim, Steve.
I love it. I don't like Al-Qadim. I fucking love Al-Qadim.
One jump.
One step ahead of the sword. I steal only what I can afford. That's everything.
I've watched Aladdin far too much.
Riff raff.
Street rat.
I don't buy that. If only they'd look closer, would they see a poor boy? No siree. They'd find out there's so much more to me.
We will cut off your hand. We are not racist stereotypes.
It did. Even Julien's. It will not break. It broke.
I do like Al Qadim. I like that whole thing. But once again, it's like one of those things that if I had an established party, it'd be one of those things that I'd like to let's visit Al Qadim and let's do this. I don't think I'd ever set like a campaign all in Al Qadim. I'm all in on Al Qadim.
Dark Sun. They can bring Dark Sun back. Dark Sun was one of those popular 4th edition supplements they did.
Yeah, but Dark Sun would be the problem with Dark Sun is Dark Sun doesn't fold into the realms.
Well, yeah, don't fold it into the realms. Just make it fucking Dark Sun. God damn it.
Can we do Gamma World? Let's do Gamma World.
The Gamma World also. You know what? I'm so bold as to say the side worlds that they did for 4th edition, being Gamma World and Dark Sun, were significantly more successful than base 4th edition.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, base 4th edition, as we know, did not sell at all.
It did at first, the original
and
books.
then people were like, ah.
People were like, this is World of Warcraft. I could do that on my computer.
Are you going to go see World of Warcraft, the movie?
Yeah, probably.
I'm excited for it.
You know what? Even if it's a piece of shit, I don't care, because it's a big budget
fantasy
movie. So
yeah.
like,
there's guys on griffins.
Right. I need to go see it. Like, because that's the thing. This is an as a consumer, the only thing I can do to express my desire for things is to spend money.
Yeah.
Or not spend money. That is the only thing I can do. So while I don't particularly care that it's a Warcraft movie, I want to ensure, and enough people don't think like this to like make things work exactly the way they are. But the only way I can ensure that Hollywood is more interested in doing more big fantasy movies like this is to go buy ticket.
Yeah,
I have to go see it because it doesn't matter if it's bad, because I want more fantasy. I want more high fantasy. I want more sword and sorcery. It's same reason I went and saw Conan. Even though the new Conan didn't look very good, and it was mediocre, I'd say.
Yeah.
I didn't think
it
it
had
was
its moments.
Yeah, I didn't think it was terrible, but it was definitely mediocre. And Jason Momoa is a very, very poor man's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually I showed my daughter Willow the other day, and
out of the way, Peck.
She dug it. The problem is that movie takes a long ass time to get going. I didn't
It's
realize
slow.
it is
Yeah, it's
slow at
super
the
slow.
beginning.
Matt Monaghan.
You are the greatest.
You know who loved Willow?
Me?
Japan.
Japan loved Willow?
Willow was so big in Japan, there was an NES game made of it.
Yeah, I had the NES Willow game.
Really? It was only in Japan.
No, I had that one. I don't think it was only in Japan.
Really? Huh.
No, because I remember having it because it was a top-down, just like Zelda.
Yeah. I thought it was Japanese only.
It was not great by any stretch of the imagination.
Maybe there was a sequel in Japan only. Whatever.
Maybe. I couldn't tell you that one, but I had the Willow game. I actually.
Peck's got an acorn.
Oh no. But yeah, I love Willow. Willow's such a great.
It's a fun movie.
There's a Willow RPG out there too. I know there is because I've seen it. I've always tempted to buy it every time I see it.
I mean, just basically, it was basically George Lucas's version of Tolkien, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think what I liked about Willow was that it put you in the world. It didn't explain anything, like how any of the physics of the world work, where the world came from, it was just a great medieval. It's very Lucas in the way that it was. It was very medieval fantasy world. This is what it is. And
It's got the power of myth.
I was reading up on it that Willow, the Nelwyns, I think they're called, were actually supposed to be like normal sized people. Like we're just seeing them as short, but they're actually like our size. And that Mad Mardigan's actually a race of giants.
What?
Yeah.
So trolls are just really huge?
Yeah, the Daikini are supposed to be like giants.
I see.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's Bev Morta. She turns people into pigs.
I'm out. I think they're just hobbits.
Yeah, I mean that's like you could watch. No, Lucas, don't. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know what he was trying. He was trying to prequel it.
He could.
He was trying.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like he was attempting to ruin it by doing more story. Lucas needs to stay away from that.
There's 3 whole extra books based on the Willow. It's Shadow Moon. I don't remember the other ones, but that's all based on Laura Dannon when she grows up. They're not terrible because hold on a second. I gotta look this up really quick.
It's a daikini, baby.
Yeah. Shadow, Moon, Willow. Okay. Because it was written by someone, Chris Claremont. It was written by Chris Claremont, who wrote the actual book. So, like, with Lucas saying, like, they're friends.
They're friends.
He would add that in there. But, yeah, Claremont, guy who wrote the X-Men in the 80s, like, one of the greatest X-Men writers of all time, he actually wrote the books and everything like that. And they weren't bad. I think I remember reading the first one and being like, it's pretty good. I remember reading it in, like, the 90s, late 90s. Mm. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I think Willow could get a good redux. I think if they were smart and they did a remake of Willow, and this is why you have to remake movies that didn't necessarily do fantastic.
Yeah, Willow was mediocre, right?
Yeah, and not a lot of people know Willow nowadays. Like, it's got a cult status.
You know what?
Regardless.
Not a lot of people know a lot of things these days. I made a fucking... all right, so here's the thing. I have a fucking millennial, like... We're technically millennials, but
you're
we're
millennial.
like...
I'm Gen X.
Actually, if you're 1980 or up, you're millennial.
No, it's 81.
Hang on a second. I'm going to bring this
You can go ahead.
I looked it up on the Interbuts. But anyway, whatever. The difference between the millennials is fucking huge. So anyway, I have a millennial customer, and he was over 1980 to 2000.
It says to the early 80s for Generation X.
But then this says right here 1980 to 2000.
Yeah, but where's that coming from?
The millennial years search on Google. so it's just as much of an authority as wherever you looked.
Yeah, exactly. I will consider myself Gen X just because I was into punk rock when I was in high school, like really hardcore punk rock.
That's
and
the thing. Like,
I wore flannel.
Anyone who's in their 30s now is very different from anyone who's in their 20s.
Yes.
Like a 22-year-old is very different from a 32-year-old right now. I always thought generational gaps were like considered every 10 years, but apparently I'm wrong.
Generation X according to John Miller, at a longitudinal study of American youth at the University of Michigan, wrote that Generation X refers to adults born between 1961 and 1981. So,
I said it's got as much weight as mine.
What? Mine's source though.
So I can go find a fucking source. That's the thing. It's made up fucking shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is there's a huge difference between someone who's like just the 10-year difference is massive. The 22-year-old versus 32-year-old. So
continue.
So he's like 22, and he owns a game store, and like I tried to like build rapport with him, and I'm just like. It came up naturally for me to make an Army of Darkness reference.
Okay.
And I can't remember what it was, but I think I was like, yeah, man, shop smart. Shop S smart. And he's just like blank faced. Like, what? And I'm like, Army of Darkness. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, have you ever seen Evil Dead? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay. And then like I tried to make other references. This kid was like Teflon. It's like
nothing with
fucking nothing. Not a fucking thing. He didn't even know what the fucking Matrix was.
Wow.
I was like, are you shitting me? Like, how is this a thing? Turns out, yeah, if you're 22, you apparently don't know a fucking thing about what we knew.
Well, I mean, Matrix came out in 1999. So.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I've never actually interacted with someone with
The Matrix is almost 20 years old, Steve.
I mostly interact with people around my age, because most people who own stores and play the games that I play are all around my age. So it was shocking to me to see just what that 10-year difference is. Like,
yeah.
Like it's like this. It's like, dude, you don't know anything. So I was just like, man, the pop culture knowledge I do have is totally worthless.
We are almost to that point right now where Star Wars Episode 1 was as far away from when Star Wars Episode 1 came out from episodes from the original.
Yeah, because 99 was Episode 1. That's
99.
The same year as the Matrix.
And 99 was Episode 1. And 77 was the original Star Wars. So, I mean, like, give or take 2 years on that one. We're almost to that point right now where we're as far away from Episode 1 as we were when Episode 1 came out from Episode 4.
It's true. Luckily, there are enough middle-aged Star Wars fans with children who want their children to be them, so they're forcing them to watch Star Wars movies in the theater.
You know what? I didn't show Penny Episode 7 in the theater because I thought she was still a little young. She's only 4. But we got it on DVD, and on Blu-ray DVD. We got it on Blu-ray, and she loves it. She watches it regularly, and I don't tell her. Let's watch Star Wars. She's like, can we watch Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens? That's what she says every time.
That's what the entertainment industry has become, though. It's become all of the movies coming out are things that were like people from the 90s liked. And the people with kids now are just like, here, this is what I like. Now you're gonna like it.
Oh yeah, I have friends that are like that. Star Wars is pretty accessible to kids, and
it's not like it's not like you have an alternative, because what are you gonna do? Take them to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, or and I didn't mean that as a dig at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I meant that as like the same, like that is also from your past.
We did on Comic Book Logic where
Kevin, did you watch the new one?
No, Kevin's going. He says next movie we're going to do is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's based off a comic book. We have to go see it. And I'm like, dude, no. I don't want to see this movie. It looks off.
I'm going to go see it.
Well, it looks to me the same way as it's kind of like the Fantastic Four movie, where it's like, it could be done great and I would love to go see it, but I know it's just going to be shitty based on the previews.
The first Turtles movie looked super shit. And I was just like, oh, that looks awful. This one, they hooked me in, man. They got Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang.
Yeah.
So I'm just like...
Krang is voiced by the brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
He'd be the guy who looks like this. Hey, Raymond.
I miss my brother. I wish it was voiced by Ray Romano.
Hey, turtles. We're gonna turtles. We're gonna go.
Yeah, so I can't...
Oh, my God.
I'm sure...
I'm in a giant body.
I'm sure it'll end up being bad. But
Dab.
There's enough fan service in there to make me at least go, you know what? I'm going to go see that movie.
Yeah. I mean, but he texts me last night. He goes, I just saw the preview for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He doesn't have cable. He's like you, so he doesn't watch commercials. Mm-hmm. So he's not seen any of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles commercials. I have seen them on a regular basis. And so he goes, I just saw the commercial. I regret this decision. Do we have to go see it? I go, like, you made the promise on the podcast. We have to go see it now. We're going to watch both of them. We're going to watch the first one and the second one. We're just going to review them both at the same time, get them out of the way. I wouldn't mind seeing like the original one. The original.
The original one's a solid movie.
I don't remember it being that great. I remember seeing it in the theater.
I didn't say it was great. It's solid.
I remember the second one.
The Secret of the Ooze.
With Toka and Razor.
Yeah. The second one was worse than the first one.
Go ninja, go.
Yeah,
go ninja, go ninja, go.
Yeah,
go.
those
go.
movies got that. I would say the second one was exponentially worse than the first, and the third one was exponentially worse than the second.
Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
I think that was the third one.
Yeah.
And then didn't they do a fourth one?
Not as far as I know.
I know they did a video game one. Like not a video game, a computer animated one.
There's been shit tons of those.
Thank you for yawning on the podcast. I
No
appreciate
problem.
that. Well, we're getting towards the end anyway.
You want me to get deeper into the mic next time I do it? I could.
All right, so what other gaming stuff? We talked about Dungeons and Dragons. We talked about Age of Sigmar points. Anything else?
I want to play 10mm games.
I know you always want to play the 10mm games. All right, so go to planarbitrary.com.
I dream in 10mm.
Go to planarbitrary.com for your Planet Arbitrary needs. You can follow me on Twitter at Planet Arbitrary. You can follow Steve at
PlayOnSteve.
At PlayOnSteve. Like our Facebook page, /Game Classy Podcast, where Steve posts about dicks, butts, and anime.
It's true.
You can the best way you can help out the podcast is like, comment, subscribe on iTunes, leave a comment, give us 5 stars, and you can say we're shit. I don't care. As long as we get the 5 stars, that's all that matters. You can also listen to us on the YouTubes, as long as we don't get a DMCA notice takedown, but that usually only happens because of Comic Book Logic, because Kevin puts up usually clips or like audio clips from something or other, and they're and then the
automated bot gets you.
Ugh. There's some like shit going on YouTube right now with that.
There's a huge copyright issue right now. Like, they're basically violating fair use. Like, so people are using things in by the law of fair use.
Yeah.
And they're getting hit with DMCA claims left and fucking right, because it's like, it's all these automated and like there's people and like the thing, there's no fact checking or referencing whatsoever.
Yeah.
So your video you'll have like 10 seconds of I'm on a Mexican radio.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get hit with copyright claims from some dude in Estonia who's claiming he owns that song.
Yeah.
And the way it works is like the whole reason that it's a problem and the reason that the scam exists is because you can defer the funds that a video makes to your channel. So like Sony, when they make a copyright claim against someone who uses Sony copyrighted material in a fair use manner, say they're a popular, and like it's finally starting to affect popular people on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what
now it's becoming visual
popular with quotation
because
marks.
this has been
around
going on. They're more popular than a lot of people.
Well, I know they're more popular than us. I'm not going to argue that.
They're also more popular than all like Pee Wee Dee is a legitimate celebrity.
Well, yeah, yeah, for some odd reason.
Because the age is moving away from the classic celebrity. The new celebrity is all internet, man.
Yeah, they're just awful people.
I mean, they're popular with children.
Yes, children.
Like 10-year-olds really like Pee Wee Dee. So
yeah, I don't doubt that.
They're a huge demographic who watch YouTube.
Oh, I know. My daughter watches a video with a woman who dresses up baby alives as Disney princesses and then feeds them like clay food that she makes that looks like Disney stuff. And then the baby alive poops out the food, and inside the poop nuggets are little blind bags that she opens up. And my daughter thinks it's the greatest thing in the world.
Have you seen Elsa Spider-Man videos?
I heard about those. I have not.
They are huge.
I have not watched any of them, but I've heard of it.
They're absolutely gigantic, and it's insane. I was just like, oh my god, there's but anyway, so this thing.
Yeah,
so now it's finally hitting popular channels, like people with millions and millions of subscribers, and so it's visually in the open. So what it is Sony they hit a copyright claim on this dude's video, and the video still plays. And for me, you don't really notice the difference because the funds are all going to.
Well, I know
Sony.
there's Germany always has a shit ton because I always get hit with stuff from Germany.
Right, there's that too. It's just
so in Germany the videos don't play or they don't play with audio.
Right, there's that as well. There's different tiers. There's because there's the difference between a claim and a strike.
Yeah,
I don't know what the difference is, but and then they can. I think when they make that claim, it their bot or whatever can ask to have the money or just to have it taken down or redirect something. I don't know, but it's a fucking nightmare right now with YouTube. People are getting fucked by it right now, super hard. And for the most part, this is the problem with making it automated. There's no review process.
Yeah,
and for the most part, people are getting hit. There are a shit ton of more people getting hit ancillarily who aren't the problem. Of people who actually are stealing content and putting it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, those. For me personally, the bot should be for the people who post movies, TV shows, full songs that are not on the official. There should be official channels, and there should be unofficial, and anything that's not official should be hit with that. And it's true, fair use. If it's a 30-second clip that's used, we're a reference culture. That's the way our culture works.
Right.
If we weren't able to make pop culture references on this podcast, it'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Well, half of our singing would be gone.
It's true.
All of our singing would be gone.
Yeah, all of it. I don't think we've ever done any original songs.
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes we sing original songs. Done.
Yeah.
Give me the money.
Give me the. Yeah, we don't. But that's the whole thing. Is we're a reference culture. Imagine if Lucasfilm sued Kevin Smith when Clerks came out because of all the damn Star Wars references he makes.
Yeah, that's basically what YouTube is right now.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, once again, that's YouTube. That's the problem with YouTube. It's too old. It's too expansive.
It's huge. It's fucking gantic. It's just there's people,
and also the resolution sucks. That's why I always go to Vimeo because they always do HD.
1080p on YouTube.
It's,
and they're debuting 4K as well. Not that I have a fucking 4K display, but
yeah,
it's there.
It's there.
If you got a problem with the resolution, your problem is with the uploader, not with YouTube.
Yeah. Everyone who goes on YouTube sucks. Speaking of which, go to our YouTube page, Game Classic Podcast. It's basically just this podcast that you're listening to with a picture of whatever, front page picture that I created at the time.
I'm still personally offended that you did not make all of the pictures sexy anime girls.
Dude, the last one where it was in-depth review of Warhammer Quest, people got so butthurt. It's so funny when people just they don't get it. They don't get that. I don't know. It's probably a millennials thing. Generation X maybe gets irony a little bit better.
I don't think there's a lot of millennials playing Age of Sigmar games, John.
Yeah, but I mean, or maybe I don't know. It's the concept of irony.
I think it's people our age.
Yeah. We literally, and we don't shit on the games, really. We're just kind of we just don't like the game or whatever. We're not going to buy it.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy it. It looks like I said, it's I posted on Facebook. I said the game is a loose, haphazard set of rules meant to sell cool models. The game is by far an afterthought.
Yeah, it's people are thanks for telling me there's no in-depth review on this one. I'm like, why are you watching YouTube to get an in-depth review on this game?
Also, why are you watching a non-visual format to get an in-depth review on a board game?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, if you click on it and as soon as you see that there's no video, like, you should be like, oh, well, I mean, how am I going to get... Like,
I also, like, I think it was Scander who posted, like, they talked about it for, like, 3 minutes. This is the most in-depth review they've ever given.
yeah, it's just, there's a... I have no idea. It's a weird thing because I mean, like, if you want to review like that, watch an unboxing and a real play.
Yeah,
like, that's all you need to see. Like, why would you trust two random people's fucking opinion on a game? If you want to know, if you want to be able to judge a game for yourself without buying it, watch an unboxing, watch an actual play.
What I'm going to do,
that's it.
We're going to start putting videos like of unpacking. Where you're just going to buy a pack of Pokemon cards, open it up, and then you're just going to talk about the Pokemon cards. Like, I want you to do it completely serious and completely dry.
I can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be our most popular videos.
Hands down.
Yeah, we'll get thousands of views on them.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. It's just like,
you set it. If you set it up, I will do it.
Yeah, it's like...
I get my trademark nails.
Yeah, you do. Your nails are disgusting.
Thanks,
I mean, at least
baby.
they're clean.
Yeah,
I'll give you
they're
that.
clean.
They're very clean, but the fact that you have your nails that long is...
Yeah, I'll say I was about to take umbrage that you called them disgusting. I was like, they're fucking clean.
No, they're clean. It's just the length that's a little bit on the...
I have very long nails, and it's awesome because the girls at work are very envious.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Nosferatu right now.
Yeah. If you gave me the rat teeth, I'd just be like,
oh God, what was that bloodline? The one with the Nosferatu bloodline?
Nosferatu.
No.
Yeah, they were fucking called Nosferatu.
No.
Yep. Absolutely. In Vampire.
No. In Vampire Counts.
Oh, Vampire Counts.
The Strigoi.
The Strigoi. Yeah.
Strigoi.
What?
Which one was the Bat People?
The Bat People. The Strigoi is the Nosferatu. They're the ghouls. The classic is Von Karstein. The Versers were the Blood Dragons.
The Lamia were the chicks.
Yeah,
and then
they were the Egyptian ladies.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
No, there was another one. There was the Bat guys. The guys that were like the big bats.
Strigoi.
No, but there was the one who looked like Nosferatu. There was two of them. The ones that the Vargals were based off of. I don't know.
That's Strigoi.
Maybe that's a Strigoi, but then
Yeah,
which one
there's
is
like
which one was the Nosferatu ones?
I mean, pretty sure that's the only one that was like that was Strigoi.
Okay, let me see. Vampire
Right,
Counts.
there's the cast. You know what? There's the wizards.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at. The ones who actually looked like Nosferatu.
Let's see. We're gonna find this out here.
Yeah, hold on. Vampire.
Yeah, there was. Let's see. This is all background on the vampire accounts.
Yeah.
I know it. All right, yeah. Here we go. Von Karsteins, which we
Goddamn
covered.
Witcher.
Lamians.
Yeah.
Blood dragons.
Yeah.
Necrarchs.
Necrarchs. That's the one I'm thinking of.
They're
the
the
ones that
casters.
are all. They had the zombie dragon back in the day.
I forgot about them because no one ever took them.
No, because they were terrible.
Yeah, they were the worst. Which is funny because you'd think the casting ones would be the best, but they are not. Everyone just used blood dragons.
Well, maybe now that Al Qaeda has declared jihad,
fatwa. They declared fatwa because his 10,000 point Tomb King army's invalidated.
Because he's got to get fit. I hate like onion ripoffs, but that article was actually pretty funny. Just
great.
because the guy was like, "Bring back 5th edition,"
Yeah,
and I was like,
best
"Okay,
edition.
that's funny right there." All right, so you got two other podcasts you can listen to: Comic Book Logic, which I talked about, where we watch comic book movies and review them pretty in depth. And also Pat's Retro Video Game Review Podcast, a.k.a. Play On, where Steve and Pat talk about their adventures playing Overwatch.
I'm sure that's what we'll be talking about this week.
And Doom.
Doom is fucking awesome. I actually rented it from the Redbox.
Yeah.
I spent an entire day playing it and beat it. It's just like start to finish. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great like 1-2 dayer.
Yeah.
From what I hear, everyone says that it's like a great.
Absolutely worth your time.
I will probably pick it up on Steam when it goes on sale.
Absolutely worth your time. I would highly recommend it.
All right, so Steve, until next time.
Age of Sigmar?
Game classy.